all of a sudden, my ADHD also became a superpower. So what's up? It is me again, Shaniqua, the brand story queen. And I just wanted to share a little bit of my process with you because a lot of the times people, they ask me how it is that I do what I do. And oftentimes I really don't necessarily have an answer for you except that I listen. And what people don't understand is that is a very underutilized but huge tool in business. Not even just coaching, not even just consulting or just being a strategist, but in all forms of business, from being product based to being service based and everything in between. Listening to your audience, getting your hands on the pulse of what is being said or what is not being said, what the need is versus what the want is. That is like an ultimate key. So listening is a superpower that a lot of people don't actually flex. I'm not going to say they don't have it. I'm just saying they don't flex it. So it's one thing to hear people, and it's awesome for people to feel like they're being heard or being even seen. But it's another thing to listen for the gaps, the things that they say, the things that they don't say, the things that their body language says, because, conversation comes from all points. So that's why a lot of the times I don't even like to get on the phone with people because I can't see you. And, ADHD comes into play with that too, because then I don't pay attention to you. But when we're online, it's a whole different process. So when I tell people, one of the things that I do, or what I feel like is my true superpower, is that of being a listener. It is because I literally listen to you, hear you, and then at the same time, I see things for you. So I'm going to show you, like, for instance, this is one of my notebooks. I got a lot of notebooks. And before, I used to just collect journals and notebooks and stuff, and I never would use them. But when I got into this space, all of a sudden, my ADHD also became a superpower, because in order to focus on you, in order to focus on what you're saying, I have to write it down. That really helps me. So what you'll see, and I'm going to show you a couple of pages, but what you will see is that, and I'm going to try to hide names, but if you see this, like, this is literally the things that people say to me. So I have this whole notebook is filled with different things that clients have told me, like almost being kidnapped at the airport, to, just the things that people say. Like, sometimes they throw things away. So sometimes they'll be like, so it was really hard and I had a rough time and I had to do some things. And then, my brain, curiosity is another superpower. My brain is like,
pause. What do you mean you had to do some things? What did that look like? What are those things? What was the steps you had to take? How do you feel?
Like, all of a sudden, nobody's telling you to shut up because they realize you're digging, like, I don't think I ever got shut up as a kid. In fact, I was just very much so an observer, but man, my brain did all the talking for me. And so, like, even now, it's like, sometimes be quiet. So you'll see, look, I'm going to show you one conversation, just one. So this is one person, and that's 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. 5 pages? Hold on. Let me see if there's another one. Yeah, 5 pages of notes that I took during our conversation. So the other great thing about listening for me, and listening this way, I listen by writing, is that I get to see the patterns. I get to see the things that you say a lot. I get to see the things that you do a lot. So being able to see who you are is just as important as you trying to figure out who you are. So, like, for instance, last night I had a conversation with somebody, and I didn't record it, and I didn't take them through my normal process. I have a standard 7 questions that I tend to ask, and then a whole bunch of follow-ups. But last night it was just a conversation because I was trying not to be formal with it. And so it was just a conversation, and And even though I was just listening to her and we were just talking and stuff, I couldn't make the connections of what she was saying until, and these are the notes from last night, until literally I started writing down the things that she was saying. And then it came to me. Then I can hear and see. And so in our little 30 minutes of conversation, I was able to help her, really hone in on the things that she was saying a lot. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, what do you repeat? Because what you repeat is what you believe. And so those things tend to be things that just spit out of our mouth that we actually don't pay attention to. And so the things that she repeated, the way that she said things over and over again, that's another reason why I'm writing through listening. And what that does is that just really helps me get clear on what you're saying, get clear on what you actually want, get clear on how you show up in the world. And then we could talk it out. And in 30 minutes, it was, okay, so this is who you are as a person. So for instance, like me, I'm the brand diva, brand story queen.
Brand diva. That's probably already taken.
But I'm the brand story queen. And I do that because, stories are my kingdom. Like, I love stories, right? So it's not that I feel like I am the end all be all of stories. There's lots of storytellers. But I just love stories. I live in that, and I live in that world. And so that's my queendom. That's where I belong, in the field of stories. And anyway, so like, I'm the brand story queen, but my business is storytelling. So like, a lot of my community, a lot of the people that I talk to, I call them storytellers, because what we're doing is we're learning how to use story to sell. We're learning how to use story to serve. So whether we're creating a book, creating a speech, creating a program, it's all based around story, right? So I just thought that was an interesting thing that I wanted to share with you, is my behind the scenes. That's literally my process, is asking you questions and writing down answers. And even if I don't get a chance to ask you questions, even if you're a person who starts rambling on and on and on about your story, like you didn't need any prompting, you've been waiting for this moment to actually talk to somebody, even in that time, I'm still writing questions. And if things peak, if my curiosity goes,
hey, what's that?
Then I go ahead and I ask the questions and I write those answers down. And again, like I said, it really helps with me seeing patterns and stuff. So that was just to let you guys know how I do what I do.
Well, there's an extra thing to it.
And that thing is actually very spiritual, because I want to say clairaudient. I hear things. So while I'm listening to you, I'm also listening to God. So I hear different things, and I have the ability to pull them all together in the visions and stuff that he shows me while you're speaking. So I'm not just listening to you, and I'm definitely not listening just to me, but I'm also listening to your spirit, your soul, God. All right, so that's how it goes. I figure I'll go ahead and tell you that part too, because that's a very important ingredient in this formula of how I do what I do. And that's also why I can't quit doing what I do. No matter how many people try to steer me into different directions, the truth of the matter is I'm a storyteller, and God holds the pen. That's all there is to it. I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys enjoy this. And again, I do invite you to my community, but even more important than that, I invite you to start sharing your stories. Love you guys as always.